Good morning. Welcome to the 55th annual member meeting at Lake of the Woods. If you'd all please rise, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Secretary.
I confirm that a quorum of members exists and remains because of the members present and by proxy. Further, I confirm proper notice was sent to all members of record.
Okay. We'll move on to approval of the agenda.
Yes, please. I would entertain a motion from the floor to approve the agenda. Second? Second, okay.
Moved and seconded.
All right, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Looks like the ayes have.
Well, as I said earlier, good morning. Welcome to the 55th annual meeting of the membership for Lake of the Woods Association. You see the board director sitting here at the front, but please remember that this is a meeting of the members and not a board meeting. Before I begin recognitions, please know comments and questions for this meeting are by comment card only. You can get a card at the back of the room or by raising your hand. These cards will be collected and answered by either the interim general manager or myself further along in the program under agenda item number 8. Okay. So at this time, it is my pleasure to make a presentation to the Low Fire and Rescue Department. And I'd like the Fire and Rescue President, Tom Cornell, to step forward. Hopefully he is here. Okay. Okay. Well, since we do have Chief 29 here, that's quite all right. The money's going to go to a good cause. I'll give you that. Thank you, Chief. I'm sure many of you are aware that the association actually budgets a donation each year for the Fire and Rescue Department as a way to show our appreciation for their service and dedication to supporting the health and safety of our community. At this point in time, I would ask that any of our former board presidents who are with us today stand and be recognized by the association. And I will acknowledge that our current board is here with us today. And they've done an outstanding job this past year in supporting the operations of our corporation and our community. And I would like to thank them all for their service. I would also ask any of our committee chairs that are in the audience with us today, please stand so that we can give our thanks to them for the work they do in our community. Those of you keeping track on the agenda, we're now on item number 4. And I'll keep it brief, as I know I'm standing between you and the honors and awards you've come to see presented, which is, of course, the best part of our meeting, and the presentation of this year's election results. So I'll be brief. I want to start off by thanking the people who truly make this place run. First, to our amazing staff. They all work tirelessly behind the scenes, and I know many of us often forget to give them our thanks when we have the opportunity. We just expect our roads to be plowed, the buildings and grounds to be well maintained, and our facilities to be spotless. Well, they are. And that's because of our hardworking and professional staff. Thank you very much for all that you do to make our community such a wonderful place to live. Next, thanks are due to our dedicated community and committee volunteers. Committees are the heart of this community. They volunteer countless hours to make the Lake of the Woods a better place. Committees are instrumental in providing their knowledge and experience in so many facets of our operations to the board. They develop technical recommendations, provide budget input, and contribute to the operation of the community in so many more ways. Thank you for your willingness to contribute to the betterment of our community. Finally, thank you to my fellow board members. They're here with us today. I want to express my profound appreciation for the integrity, diligence, and transparency each of you has brought to the table. It is often said that the strength of any organization lies in its people, and in our case, this sentiment rings especially true. Our board is not just a governing body, it is a cohort of passionate individuals united by an overarching shared vision for our community's future. I also want to thank the former board members who started the year on the board. Their service was appreciated as well. This past year, we tackled some big projects. We focused our board goals on our lake health, improving food and beverage performance, and implementing more rigorous business management analytics. Looking back over the past year, several major undertakings stand out. The clubhouse refresh project was brought to a close, and we've been enjoying the beautiful new decor. The main gate, third gate project, which started planning several years ago, was started and completed. The largest dredging project in the history of the community was initiated and successfully completed in Keaton's Lake, along with the removal of years of legacy spoils piles and the addition of 50% more capacity for spoils pits and drainage. We are finally nearing the completion of the multi-year Patrick Henry Court Stormwater Management Project. Our outcomes have been positive for the most part, but the path to them was not as smooth as we would have liked. We recognize that there were shortcomings in capital projects in food and beverage, and have taken active steps to convene after-action reviews and engage special ad hoc committees to evaluate and make recommendations for the future initiation and conduct of large-scale capital projects and improvements in food and beverage financial performance. For the first time, KPIs were developed and implemented in departments, and new technology platforms have been introduced to improve staff efficiency and provide increased functionality. New strategic business partners have been added, like our new audit partner, Baker Tilly, a national public accounting firm. These steps set the foundation for better decision-making and improved overall financial and operational performance in the future. Change is the natural course of every business life cycle, and we are not immune. The corporation experienced a fair amount of turnover in our board and staff during the past year. Additionally, in early May, our general manager of 14 years departed the organization, and our assistant general manager, Carolyn Brodeur, stepped up to ensure a smooth transition. Thank you very much. Throughout this period of change and transition, members of the staff, committees, and board stepped up to support the organization, ensuring that business and community operations continued to meet member needs. During this time, we also added several new key staff in areas like environmental resources and finance, and they are directly making a big impact in the organization and the community. Speaking of new staff, it is my distinct pleasure to announce, after a 4-month-long process, that the board has unanimously selected and hired an exceptionally talented and highly experienced new general manager, Ms. Bernie Guthrie. Bernie has managed an extensive portfolio of large-scale HOA communities in Northern Virginia and South Carolina for more than 18 years. She's earned 2 undergrad degrees and an MBA. Additionally, Bernie carries the CMCA, AMS, LSM, and PCAM certifications. From a previous community in Northern Virginia that also had a dam, she brings to Lowe unique knowledge and experience in dam operations and the Virginia Dam Safety Act. We are truly fortunate to have such a dynamic and experienced community association leader like Bernie join our team and our community. She'll be coming on board in early November. Our community is dynamic, evolving with each new day. The ability to anticipate and respond to those changes is founded on having a solid professional team of staff, committee members, and board members. Having that foundation is what distinguishes a great community from merely a good one. This past board term, this team demonstrated that distinction, never losing sight of our mission to care for this wonderful place we call Lake of the Woods. Now our general manager will give her report.
Good morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Carolyn Brodeur, and it is my honor as your interim general manager to present the annual report at this, our 55th annual meeting of the membership. To reflect on the year behind us and the journey that lies ahead, reaching our 55th meeting is a milestone worth pausing to appreciate. A testament to the strength and endurance of our community. For more than 5 decades, Lake of the Woods has grown, adapted, and thrived through change. Each year brings its own challenges and opportunities, but this past year tested us in extraordinary ways. From dramatic weather events to ongoing leadership transitions, our community faced trials that demanded resilience and resolve. That is why this year we celebrate not only what we, all of us, have endured, but how we have endured it. Our community has risen to meet the challenges together, and that strength is reflected not only in our spirit, but also our financial position. We are now 4 months into fiscal year 25-26. While our operational performance is currently trailing behind budget, we are actively working to bring it back in line. Even so, I am pleased to report that the association's overall financial condition remains solid. As of August 31st, assessment collections are on target with 80% collected. Our 4 reserve funds hold a combined balance of $4.6 million. Reserve cash is sufficient to cover this year's remaining capital needs of $3.4 million including the unbudgeted costs from this summer's flash floods. In November of 2024, we successfully paid off the car loan. That's gone, thank goodness. And operating cash stands at $800,000 with a total cash and investments of $5.4 million. Our assessment delinquency rate for the fiscal year ending April 30 was 1.2% compared to last year of 1.1%. While that's a slight, tiny little increase, it is still far below the industry average of 5%, a clear sign of a financially healthy community. LOA remains the largest concentration of homes, and the population in Orange County, according to the 2022 American Community Survey 5-year estimates. LOA's population is approximately 8,356. We are about 22% of Orange County's population of 36,593. Housing stock is a key indicator of a healthy community, and so it is good news that from May 2024 to April 2025, the Environmental Control Committee approved 27 new home construction projects, up 7 from the previous year, and approved 214 renovation projects, up 39 from the previous year. On April 30th, LOA had 4,088 completed homes on the 4,260 private lots, up 25 from last year. Our finance department issued 240 resale certificate packages during the same period. While that's down a little bit, 26 from the previous year, not every transition requests a resale certificate package. Approximately 6% or 248 properties in LOA have turned over in the last 12 months, which is a decrease of 15 from the previous year. But if you look at the big picture, that's 4,088 completed homes, with 248 new families becoming part of our community. Our member services team, led by Jane Greenhall, warmly welcomes each new member and ensures they have access to all of the information and resources that LOA has to offer. Over the past year, the board of directors and management has spent a significant amount of effort on the 3 stated board goals: protect and improve the lakes, improve and re-energize our food and beverage amenities, strengthen our risk and performance management tools and processes. And I will allude to these goals as I go through my speech. Each year, the board of directors holds nearly 30 meetings, comprised of regular, special, and retreat meetings. Each meeting takes countless hours of preparation from the general manager's office, and this work is shepherded by none other than our famous executive assistant, Lori Trocchio, who is here. If I could just give her a quick round of applause, because she's an unsung hero. And our LCC clerk, Faye Moeller. Looking back on this year, we will remember our challenges as well as our successes. Our wins for this year include the golf simulator, the completed main gate project, and our annual Independence Day celebration, which was a blast for everybody. And the fireworks were beautiful. There were significant personnel changes. We had new hires. Dave Surratt, our new director of finance, who is working somewhere back there helping the elections committee right now. Keegan Angerer, our director of environmental resources, who has had to endure all the challenges in the weather that we've had since he started this summer. And Stuart Talbot, our new Fairways Cafe manager. Michael Armstead stepped up in an interim leadership role as our maintenance director, and he was formerly serving as our capital projects manager. Over the past year, our communications and member engagement department, led by Lori Carter, has continued to strengthen how we connect with our members and share important information. In September, Ron Nelson joined as our website content manager and videographer, bringing valuable technical skills that round out a talented team. Lisa Nakshane, communications coordinator, Dan McFarland, copy editor, Chris Porter, graphics designer and communications assistant. Together, this team has supported major initiatives, including communications for the main gate and Patrick Henry Court projects, targeted food and beverage messaging, enhanced lake health updates, and the rebranding of the clubhouse snack bar as the Quack Shack, and an ongoing e-bike and bicycle safety campaign. Looking ahead, the department will focus on upgrading LOA.org to improve functionality and accessibility, expanding marketing support for our amenities, and strengthening social media outreach to boost member awareness and participation. The numbers show strong engagement, nearly 6,000 followers on LOA's Facebook page, up 700 this year, along with steady growth across all amenity pages. Our website now serves over 88,000 users annually. That's a 42% increase from last year. And text alert subscriptions are also on the rise. If you want to know what's happening, whether there's an amenity closed or something, a storm related that's happened and we are closing gates, subscribe to text messages, folks. That's the way to do it. Through these efforts, our goal remains simple: to provide every member with timely, engaging, and accessible information that keeps our community connected. The Lake Currents newsletter and LOA.org remain the most reliable sources for association and community news. Allied Universal Security has now been serving Lake of the Woods for 13 years. This past May, we welcomed Chief Ron Perkins as our new Chief of Security. He has already brought strong leadership to the team. Every day, Allied officers patrol our neighborhoods and common areas, monitor our gates, respond to calls, and assist residents and guests, and work closely with Orange County Sheriff's Office. Their visible presence helps maintain a safe and welcoming environment throughout Lake of the Woods. The scope of that work is impressive. Between September 1st, 2024 and August 29th, 2025, more than 2.46 million vehicles entered our community. About 1.9 million came in through our main gate, and over 550,000, 550,000 through the back gate. On average, our main gate alone welcomes 5,233 guests' vehicles. Managing that level of traffic is no small task. Security personnel help keep traffic moving smoothly, especially during peak hours and special events. In June, we saw the successful completion of the main gate project, which handled the demands of our Independence Day celebration with ease. As Allied enters the second year of its current 3-year contract, we continue to evaluate staffing levels, particularly with the addition of the new visitor lane, to determine whether adjustments may be needed in the future. Technology is also making a difference. The Allbox system for overnight guests saves 56 staffing hours each week by eliminating the need for an overnight officer. Looking ahead, we will be encouraging greater use of tech control, which lets members manage guest access online and helps free up gate staff for other responsibilities, such as opening that second lane. Security also extends beyond the gates. This summer, Lake Patrol staffed 2 patrol boats during high traffic times to help ensure safety on the lake. On land, officers continue to support roadway safety by enforcing speed limits and parking rules. With the help of 3 speed indicator signs, they remind us all to slow down and drive responsibly. In short, security is not about rules and enforcement. It's about safety, support, and service. Their work each day helps Lake of the Woods to be a place where we can all feel at home. Our finance department, led by Director Dave Surratt, oversees finance, accounting, human resources, business systems, and member services. Over the past year, this team has supported our community through growth, property transfers, membership renewals, payment processing, and amenity registrations. The finance team plays an essential role in updating the board's annual replacement reserve study. This year, they invested considerable time in updating more than 1,000 components. That's every asset we have in Lake of the Woods. and their subcomponents using our new DMA reserve study system. They also continue to enforce LOA's fair but firm collection practices, keeping our delinquency rate below 2%, well below the national average of about 5%. The team, which includes Controller Coco Rich, worked closely with our board treasurer to address internal control weaknesses identified in the FY 23-24 audit. I am pleased to report that our current auditors have already confirmed that those issues have been resolved. Finance also manages the annual registration of Watercraft. This year, they processed 2,752 registrations, 1,014 of which were powered, 1,738 non-powered, which was a slight decrease from last year. The finance team also includes Human Resources Manager Kyle Peralt, who has guided the executive searches for both Director of Finance and the new General Manager. Also on this team is Business Systems Coordinator Rhonda Sherman, who has been working across departments to improve efficiency and advance automation. Looking ahead, the department will continue to support all of our amenities with particular focus on capital projects, food and beverage operations, and working with members to ensure timely payment of assessments. The bottom line is this: our finances are stable, well-managed, and positioned to support both our immediate needs and our long-term goals. Our maintenance department, led by Interim Director Michael Armstead, takes great pride in caring for the roads, parks, buildings, and capital assets of Lake of the Woods. Following last year's reorganization, the department is now focused on these core responsibilities while also managing capital projects. This year, the team optimized the eMate work order system and began transitioning to SmartWebs, a more cost-effective platform that will improve efficiency and reduce expenses. In fiscal year 24-25, LOA worked on 97 capital projects. As of April 30, 74 were completed, 21 were in progress, and 2 were on hold. By August 31st, another 7 were finished. Looking ahead, priorities include completing the Patrick Henry Drainage Project and developing long-term strategies for ditch, culvert, and road maintenance. The maintenance department is made up of specialized teams. Facility Coordinator Tracy Johnson leads a team of 4 custodians who care for 23 buildings. Tracy also serves as procurement specialist and budget manager for the department. Buildings and grounds, led by Daniel Smith. This team oversees 74 buildings and nearly 100 acres of common areas. Highlights include completing upgrades at the Wood Center, Equestrian Center, Clubhouse, and Community Center, while also refreshing landscaping, beaches, and hardscaping across the community. Roads, led by Kevin Patty, maintains 41 miles of roadways and 80 miles of roadside ditches, with recent work including resurfacing of program sections, including portions of Lakeview Parkway and 6 golf cart paths, the Main Gate project, the roads equipment storage barn, and dredging staffing support for the Environmental Resources Department. The equipment shop, led by Jerry Chatham, maintains more than 160 vehicles and pieces of equipment, with key replacements this year, including the mini excavator, backhoe, dump truck, and snowplow. One of the greatest tests for this department comes from storms. The recent heavy rains and flash floods demanded an immediate response. Clearing culverts, managing drainage, and repairing roads, often pulling staff away from their regular duties. Yet time and again, they rise to the challenge. Our crews worked tirelessly in difficult conditions to protect property, restore access, and keep our community safe. Their quick response not only addresses immediate needs, but also strengthens our long-term resiliency. In all, the maintenance department's work may not always be visible, but it touches every corner of our community and ensures the quality of life that we all value at Lake of the Woods. Our Covenants Enforcement Department, better known as the ECC staff, led by Matilda Barone, works tirelessly to uphold our community standards while also supporting members who want to build, renovate, or improve their properties. One of LOA's most important responsibilities is ensuring that All properties meet the standards set by our Declaration of Restrictions and Regulations. Much of this work is resolved through cooperation with you, the members. About 40% of the violations are settled with a simple courtesy call or email, without the need for a formal violation letter. Courtesy contacts are especially effective with common issues such as RVs, signs, holiday lights, trash cans, and dead trees. At the start of the fiscal year, on May 1, the team carried over 92 open violations. Since then, they have pursued 576 cases, resolving 446 of them. As of now, 130 remain open. Those that cannot be resolved through courtesy notices or first letters must be referred to the Board of Directors for action, and in some cases, must be sent to Orange County Court. The Covenants Enforcement Team, Melanie Horner and Betsy Peters, have also been leading the implementation of the SmartWeb software to streamline enforcement and improve workflow, with support from volunteer Cheryl Ferguson. The team is completing the first phase of this project a month ahead of schedule. The ECC team also includes our erosion and sediment inspector, Fred Ripley. Fred works closely with members, our roads crew and environmental resources team to inspect and improve culverts and ditches and both private lots and common areas. His work has been especially important in addressing stormwater issues brought on by recent flash flood events, directly benefiting the health of our lakes. The Environmental Resources Department, led by Keegan Angerer, manages our lakes, ponds, and natural resources to support both recreation and ecological balance. Their work is guided by sound biological principles and board-approved lake management implementation plan. This summer, the team implemented our harmful algal bloom response protocol for the first time, responding quickly to elevated algae levels in Keaton's Lake. Their actions included issuing advisories and closures, communicating with members, and carrying out a testing plan to reopen the lake safely. The protocol continues to evolve with improvements to water quality testing now underway. And the result of that improvement is that this weekend, we neither needed to pre-treat Keaton's Lake, nor did we have to close it because the testing results showed healthy, beneficial algae in that lake. Keegan and the environmental resources specialist, Holly Anthony, also played a key role in responding to two high-intensity storms this summer. They managed sluice gates operations, surveyed storm damage, and removed debris to protect our waterways. Looking ahead, the department is strengthening its preparedness for future severe storms, including participation in the recent storm response workshop. Another major effort is the department's comprehensive assessment of low stormwater infrastructure. Properly functioning culverts, ditches, and forebays are essential for both flood control and for protecting lake water quality. This year, the team also completed an electrofishing survey with results and analysis shared with board and committees, helping inform future lake management decisions. On dredging, they exceeded our FY 24-25 goal of 2,250 cubic yards, successfully removing 3,554 cubic yards, which included contractor work on Keaton's Lake. Since April 30th, 588 cubic yards have been dredged towards this year's goal of 3,000 cubic yards. In all, the Environmental Resources Department plays a vital role in keeping our lakes safe, healthy, and resilient. From monitoring water quality, to managing harmful algal blooms, to maintaining stormwater infrastructure and dredging sediment, their work ensures that our waterways remain both an ecological treasure and a source of recreation for generations to come. Our community operations team, led by manager Kimberly Toon, with support from Daniela Campfield, Joey Lane, and fitness specialist Raymond McKinnon, has had a busy and productive year. Joey joined the team this summer following the departure of Alex Barch, who served Lowe for more than 3 years. The team supported a wide range of community events from Pirates and Mermaids, Soggy Doggy, and Super Soaker to larger gatherings like Treats on the Point in October, Chris Kindlemarkt in December, and the open market in May. They are now preparing for the Fall Festival in October at Sweetbriar Park, which will feature games, contests, food trucks, and local artisans. This was also the second year celebrating National Parks and Recreation Month in July, with a campaign themed Build Together, Play Together. Activities included both member events and staff engagement, supported by Raymond's fitness programming. Our 2025 Independence Day celebration was another highlight. From the parade to the Clubhouse Point festivities, ski show, and fireworks, the day was a tremendous success, and we received overwhelmingly positive feedback. The community center remains a hub of activity with 43,523 visitors this year. That's 43,523 people coming through these doors right here, right outside this building. Up nearly 6,000 from last year. It continues to host everything from low players performances to board meetings, town halls, and member organized events. The team also coordinates reservations for the lower level clubhouse, campground, pavilions, and pool parties. Amenity participation is strong. Fitness center membership stands at 763, matching last year's record highs. Twice yearly open house and evening classes led by Raymond are drawing in new interest. The new hoist combo machine was added this year to modernize equipment and improve the layout. Pickleball and tennis membership is steady at 274. Both pools opened Memorial Day weekend with support from Winkler Pool Management. Highlights included water aerobics with 131 members participating, Barracuda swim team practices and meets drawing over 5,500 participants and spectators, and new amenities such as the water feature at Clubhouse Pool and diving board, the replaced diving board at Sweetbriar Pool. The popular Friday night sports nights introduced water polo, and August pool hours were extended this year through Labor Day. This summer, our pools welcomed more than 14,300 member and guest visits, representing about 60% of low households, with strong concession sales to match. The installation of the Tech Control access control system was a welcome advancement, allowing for easier check-in and tracking of member participation. The rebranding of the Clubhouse Pool and Snack Bar into the Quack Shack, okay, that's the second time and I didn't stumble over it, folks. That's good. Was another success, featuring a refreshed menu, including pulled pork sandwiches and quesadillas. Our golf operations team, led by Eric Barnes, continues to provide both a strong recreational program and important revenue stream for our community. Over the past year, the Pro Shop hosted more than a dozen resident golf events, along with rules and handicapping clinics to support our annual members. For junior golf camps, we hosted 56 youth participants, helping grow the sport among the next generation. Both the Ladies and Men's Golf Associations, LGA and MGA respectively, remain very active, with well over 100 members each playing weekly. The team also supported broader community events, from the Independence Day celebration to the Turkey Trot, Fright Night Golf, and Chris Kindlemarkt. One shining addition to the golf operation is the installation of Hole Zero Golf Simulator. This simulator provides a fun space for members to play golf, rain or shine, host parties or events, or even use it as a driving range. For the first 6 weeks of operation, we have averaged 7 to 10 hours of utilization per week and generated over $2,000 in revenue. We expect hours and revenue will continue to increase over the winter months. Golf also attracts outside participation and revenue. Last year, we hosted 25 contracted events and have the same number planned this year. We are partnering with the Pennsylvania Travel Agency to draw seasonal players from northern states, and our participation in the VSGA VIP book continues to bring new players to both the course and Fairways Cafe. This summer, we also opened the new golf simulator room, which offers practice and play on famous courses while creating new revenue opportunities for golf and food and beverage. For the year ending April 30, golf revenue totaled $669,000, a 3% decrease year over year, largely due to weather, with 60 days of course closures in 24-25. Something we are sure the new golf simulator will help remedy. Even so, we exceeded 23,000 rounds of golf, and we're proud to be ranked 19th among the top 25 public golf courses in Virginia by Golfer's Choice. Golf course maintenance remains a key strength. Our contractor, IGM, with Superintendent Brian Gilboa at the helm, has been with us since 2005. Despite record-breaking heat this summer, Brian and his team have kept the course in excellent condition. This year's projects included cleaning the pond on hole 1 and the forebay on hole 14, paving cart paths on holes 1 through 4 and 9, converting landscape around tee signs and benches to rock to reduce erosion, and coordinating with the golf committee and pro shop to host successful tournaments. Looking ahead, our goal is to grow annual memberships and to continue delivering one of the best golf experiences in Virginia. Our food and beverage operation, led by Director Chaz Kilby, guiding both locations, the clubhouse and fairways have made meaningful improvements this year, enhancing operations and delivering stronger results in restaurant and banquet performance. Fairways, managed by Stu Talbot, has continued to see improvements across systems, staffing, menu offerings, and daily operations. Shift leaders are in place to help strengthen the team, ensuring consistent cafe hours and smooth service. Fairways has successfully increased attendance and engagement at themed events throughout the year, including Trivia Night, Dart League, Pick and Sing, the Newlywed Game, bands, and Comedy Night. These initiatives have enhanced community participation and contributed to Fairways' popularity among members. The clubhouse, with Sierra Longfellow, Assistant Clubhouse Manager, has also seen improvements in operations, menu offerings, and guest experiences. Seasonal menu specials, signature events, and live entertainment have strengthened the clubhouse's appeal. Highlights this year include the Valentine's Day dinner, a musical tribute dinner to James Taylor and Carole King, and the barbecue and bluegrass, all of which were well attended. Banquets and catering, managed by Angela West, have continued to achieve strong results at both clubhouse and fairways. Events have included weddings, birthday parties, celebrations of life, corporate gatherings, and more. Banquet and event sales for May, June, and July 2025, the first quarter of this fiscal year, totaled $179,000, reflecting substantial year-over-year growth and the success of improved operational strategies. Our Equestrian Center, led by Manager Bridget Hutchins, with support from Assistant Manager Nikki Reyes, barn staffer Katie Farabee, and a dedicated team, cares for 8 horses and 1 barn cat. The herd currently includes 6 lesson horses, Fancy, Pesto, Jax, Ollie, Amos, and Milkshake, along with 1 boarded horse, Gunner, and 1 staff horse, Brittany. This year, we said farewell to 2 of our lesson horses, Prescott and Gus, who retired after 13 and 2.5 years of service respectively, and Fancy is scheduled to retire this season as well. I know that's a collective, we all love Fancy, right? The center continues to provide outstanding programming for our members. The 2025 Pony Camp was a tremendous success, selling out all 48 camper spots and surpassing revenue projections. In all, 37 families participated in the 6 weeks of camp. Through the support of Flow, Friends of Lake of the Woods, the Riding Lesson Scholarship Program continues to expand access to equestrian activities. The fall 2024 scholarship allowed 8 riders to participate in a series of lessons and trail rides, while the spring 2025 scholarship supported 11 more riders in the same program. The Equestrian Center has been working in partnership with Lori Carter and the Communications Department to expand their marketing and outreach efforts. And this year they added spur of the moment riding lessons. Get it? Spur of the moment. Promos to fill less popular booking times in the middle of the week. Facility improvements also made a big difference this year. The installation of the big fan has greatly improved riding conditions during the summer months. With this upgrade, the center has been better positioned to meet its goal of providing 60 lessons per month, a key performance target the staff is working diligently to maintain. I would now like to thank the Board of Directors for all of its good work and partnership, especially during the challenges we faced during this past year. Congratulations to Leif Henneke on his successful term of service. Thank you to TC Phillips, Bob Ho, and Larry Moreland for stepping in to complete board vacancies. And we appreciate each of you for your significant contribution of time and talent. Thanks also to the management team and operations center managers who have helped all of us make this year a successful one. There are so many people I would like to thank, but the list would be far too long. But I personally want to thank Dave Surratt, Finance Director, Michael Armstead, Interim Maintenance Director, Capital Projects Manager, Lori Carter, Communications and Member Engagement Manager, Kyle Peralt, Human Resources Manager, Tracy Johnson, Facilities Coordinator, Matilda Barone, Covenant Enforcement Manager, Eric Barnes, Golf Operations Manager, Kimberly Toon, Community Operations Manager, Bridget Hutchins, Equestrian Center Manager, Chaz Kilby, Food and Beverage Director, Lori Trocchio, Executive Assistant, Chief Ronald Perkins, Allied Universal, Brian Gilbo, Superintendent, IGM. I know it's a long list, but that's what it takes to make the magic happen here, folks. Thanks also to you, the members and the committees, for all your helpful feedback about how we operate your association. The passion and drive and commitment that each community member brings ensures that Lake of the Woods will be a vibrant and resilient community for many more years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn, for that excellent report. It really does give us a good perspective of what goes on in our community and what it takes to operate and maintain our community. The things that we just rely on are going to happen. These are the folks, and this is the work that it takes to make that occur for us, so we can enjoy this wonderful place that we live in. So that's going to bring us to item number 6, awards, certificates, and honors. And I would like our honors chair, Ms. Carolyn Rourke, to step to the podium, and she and her team can begin the fun part of today's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, members of the board, LOAS staff, guests, and honored Lake of the Woods Association members. It's a real pleasure to come before you today to honor Lake of the Woods Association members who have been nominated by their fellow association members for recognition for their contributions to our community. It has been my privilege to chair the Honor Awards Committee this past year. Our committee is tasked by the board with soliciting, collecting, and creating the awards. I'd like to recognize the members of the committee at this point: Gina Davies, Nadine Daniel, Donalda Lovelace, Cindy Miller, and Carrie Neely. This year, we are recognizing 19 people and 1 organization in 6 different categories of awards. The categories are Certificate of Appreciation. This is given to residents who perform acts of kindness and service for their neighbors that contribute to our sense of community and make us proud to be Lake residents. You see them picking up the trash at the side of the road, shoveling their neighbors' drives of snow in the wintertime, and running somebody up to the grocery store when they can't drive themselves. The Outstanding Service Award is given in recognition of accomplishments and performance beyond what is ordinarily expected of someone in a voluntary capacity. These individuals or groups contribute significantly to the general welfare of the Low community. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes contributions of the highest caliber to the lake, accomplishments so noteworthy that they are recognized and celebrated by the majority of members in the lake as having a major impact on our community. And then we have awards for specific acts and services. We have a Heroic Act Award, which is given for courageous actions that protect life and/or property in an emergency situation or under hazardous conditions. The Outstanding Youth Award recognizes young people up to 18 years of age whose accomplishments significantly exceed the norm of expectation. They volunteer with organizations in their churches, their leaders in their peer groups. They excel at their studies and are a credit to our community. And finally, we recognize a community service organization that provides great impact to Lake of the Woods and the surrounding communities. So before we move on to the awards, I too would like to take a moment to thank everyone who has supported the Honor Awards Committee in its task. Larry Moreland stepped up to serve as our board liaison, gave us great advice on working with the board, and probably kept me out of more trouble than I would hope to admit. Lois staff, including acting GM Carolyn Bergeur, Executive Assistant Lori Trocchio, the operations team of Kimberly Toon and Daniela Canfield, and communications manager Lori Carter and her team, all made our job easy and fun. So at this time, I'd like to bring up the members of the committee who will announce the recipients for this year's award, starting with Gina.
Well, Carolyn said, I'm Gina Davies, and I get to start the fun. Helen Brewer has been selected for a certificate of appreciation. Helen, please come forward. You might know Helen or have seen her one-of-a-kind big smile. She has been involved in many activities in Low for more than 15 years. She is a dynamic person who genuinely believes in supporting the Low community at every level, from small gestures such as welcoming new neighbors to being an election worker for the Low precinct at the clubhouse for many years. When Helen realized the Honor Awards program had become inactive in 2020 because of COVID, she took the initiative to revive the program and reestablish the Honor Awards Committee. Not only did she successfully take over by bringing on new members and by creating a manual with all the necessary paperwork and procedures, without her determination, the Honor Awards might have remained inactive instead of becoming the vibrant success we see today. It is because of her passion for our community and her belief in being a positive force in the world that we celebrate her and her contributions to Low. It is our honor to present Helen with the Certificate of Appreciation. Chris Kane has been selected for a Certificate of Appreciation. Chris, please come forward. Chris is the heart and soul of the Lake of the Woods players. He has served as treasurer for many years, a complex position, but his contributions extend far beyond this role. He has been the stage manager and/or house manager for many of the productions, most recently for The Widows on Walnut Hill. He is also part of the set design and stage construction team. He steps in when needed with the sound and lighting team and has appeared in several of our shows. He volunteers his skills as a stage manager to other clubs and organizations that need help when using the stage at the community center. Chris is one of the main reasons the Low players continue to provide quality entertainment to our community. And if that weren't enough, Chris also serves on the Environmental Control Committee, ECC, and sings in the choir at Lake of the Woods Church. It is our honor to present Chris with this certificate. Betty Case has been selected for a certificate of appreciation. Betty, please come forward. Betty is very generous with her time, helping both the Low community and her church community. She volunteers at Duffy's Pantry in Locust Grove, where she picks up food donated by Food Lion, which is then distributed to the pantry. She helps stock the shelves with these items, along with goods collected during the monthly food drive at St. Patrick Catholic Church. She also delivers food to families who are unable to visit the pantry. She is a member of Project Linus, where she creates quilts and blankets for newborn babies and for children with serious illnesses. She also donates these quilts and blankets to military families in need and local fire and rescue departments. She helps large families in her church in need of clothing, and she and her husband babysit for these families when needed. She also volunteers to serve funeral lunches to grieving family members after a funeral. Betty is always ready to help whenever someone asks for her assistance. She is truly a valuable member of her church and the communities of Locust Grove and Culpeper. It is our honor to present Betty with this certificate.
Good morning, I'm Cindy Miller. Dan Gaskill has been selected for the Certificate of Appreciation. Dan, would you please come forward? Dan is recognized for his faithful volunteer service to the Lake of the Woods Church and for his unwavering availability to help his neighbors in need. This help includes taking care of vacant homes in his neighborhood, shoveling snow and mowing lawns for widows, purchasing shoes for a neighborhood teen in need, and providing cleanup tasks following storms. Mr. Gaskill provides these services with a cheerful demeanor to all at no cost. For these reasons, it is our pleasure to present this certificate to Mr. Dan Gaskill. Phil Lennon and his family have been selected for an Honor Award Certificate of Appreciation. Please come forward. Since becoming a member of the Low Veterans Club this year, Phil Lennon has stepped up to assist with and participate in the final salutes honors for deceased veterans at the annual Low Veterans Flag ceremonies. Displaying an act of outstanding kindness and community spirit during this past Low Memorial Day ceremony, Phil, his wife, and two lovely children raised approximately $500 just through the sale of delicious homemade lemonade. Phil and his family announced at the ceremony that all of the proceeds raised from the sale would be donated to the Low Veterans Club. The Low veterans were touched, honored, and appreciative of this unsolicited and generous donation by this remarkably giving family who well deserve to have their good deed appreciated and awarded. It is our honor to present this fine family with this certificate. And now on to the Outstanding Service Awards. An Outstanding Service Award is presented to Charles E. Brewer for his 9 years of service as president of the Civil War Study Group. Charles, please come forward. Charles has transformed the organization into a thriving historical society now reaching hundreds of households. Monthly meeting attendance has surged to more than 50% participants. Charles has worked tirelessly to fulfill the study group's mission to preserve and share the Civil War history of our region. His sound fiscal management enables the group to award annual teacher scholarships that inspire excellence in American history education in local schools. Among his many accomplishments as president, Charles has created the content for 8 historical markers and monuments in Loa's public spaces, curated and directed the relocation of the Civil War Study Group's relic collection from the clubhouse to the Wood Center. He also developed a clubhouse foyer display honoring ancestors of Loa residents who fought at the Battle of Wilderness, secured nationally recognized authors and scholars as speakers at the monthly meeting. He developed the Lake of the Woods Civil War website and brochure and expanded connections beyond the lake, amplifying the mission of the Civil War Study Group to honor our community and illuminate its place in the nation's history. It is our honor to present Charles with this award.
Good morning. My name is Nadine Daniel, and I am delighted to present the next Outstanding Service Award, and it's going to be presented to Jan Davis. Would you please step forward, Jan? All right, Jan is being recognized for her outstanding service to her community during her 30-plus years as a resident of Lake of the Woods. It's hard to know where to begin because she's done so much, but we're going to start with her contributions to the Garden Club service that you've done there. It was Jan's love of flowers and her appreciation of home and community gardens that immediately drew her to the Lake of the Woods Garden Club, where she has been an active member for 25 years. She has served in leadership roles, including president and parliamentarian. And she's also served as a Lake of the Woods Garden District representative. Jan has also been instrumental in committee projects and activities such as Arbor Day, selecting trees for planting along the Veterans Dam walking trails, and serving on the annual Clubhouse and Fairways Holiday Direction Committee. Always beautiful, by the way. Yeah, Jan has been a member of the Lake of the Woods Church for 25-plus years, where she serves as an usher and is active in many church activities. She is also known in the community for her generous hospitality, thoughtfulness, and willingness to help friends and neighbors when they are sick or away from home, and also preparing meals, providing rides to doctor's appointments, and running errands. We are honored to present this award to Jan for her devotion to this community. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jan. And our next Outstanding Service Award will be presented to Terry Maple. Terry, would you please join us at the podium? Okay, when Terry first moved to Lake of the Woods, he immediately became an energetic and active participant and leader in a variety of service organizations, including the Lake of the Woods Alliance, Low Link, and the Neighborhood Watch program. Terry's involvement with the Lions Club involves working on its medical team. He is also in charge of the Lions weekly furniture sale, including collecting furniture to be donated and delivering furniture to those in need. He also serves as editor of the Lions newsletter. Terry has served as a chair of Low Link's volunteer committee, and he's also served as an active member of the Neighborhood Watch team. An important aspect of Terry's service to the Lake of the Woods community is his faithful and dedicated service as a Lake of the Woods chaplain, where his outreach ministry also extends to Germanna Heights. Terry often visits seniors and hospice patients in Lake of the Woods. His unflagging energy, dedication to service, and that engaging smile and congenial personality lists all of those who he meets. and his contributions helped to make this community a much, much better place in which to live. It is our honor, Terry, to present you with this award. Thank you. And the next Outstanding Service Award is presented to Claudia Phillips. Claudia, would you please join me? Okay, since moving to Lake of the Woods 5 years ago, Claudia Phillips has been an effective, energetic contributor to the Lake of the Woods community. Her attention to detail and her follow-through have been invaluable and demonstrated through her many Lake of the Woods contributions. She served on the election committee and is co-chair of the new members committee for child health and has completed emergency vehicle operator certification, currently serving as an ambulance driver to the Lake of the Woods Volunteer and Fire Rescue Company. Wow. Okay. In addition, for the past 3 years, Claudia has been the heartbeat of the 300-member pickleball club. Her dedicated service and leadership have been critical to the club's growth and increasing popularity. She has held the titles of the pickleball club's vice president and treasurer. She has also taken on the responsibilities of maintaining the club's directory, ensuring that the annual dues are collected, and providing a monthly accounting of club expenditures. She also edits the club newsletter articles and coordinated with the volunteer publisher. Her organizational skills have resulted in successfully advocating to LOA for the Holyfield automatic external defibrillator and pickleball court lines on tennis 3 and 4. The pickleball community has been an extremely fortunate beneficiary of Claudia's outstanding, exemplary leadership, and it is with great pleasure that we recognize your outstanding achievements and contributions, Claudia. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Donalda Lovelace. Our final Outstanding Service Award is presented to Jack Simons. Jack, please come forward. Jack received 3 separate nominations recognizing his significant contribution in a wide range of areas. We are sharing portions of each nomination here. Jack Simons works tirelessly for the Lake of the Woods community, serving as chair of the Maintenance and Ecology Committee and as a member of several other standing and ad hoc committees, as well as working groups. His experience in construction management and quality control, along with his attention to detail, has contributed significantly to the success of numerous projects here at the Lake of the Woods, including developing our protocol for the identification and treatment of harmful algae blooms in Keaton's Lake, to name just one. Jack's service to the people of this community has been exemplary, freely giving of his knowledge, skills, and ability. Jack is a problem solver, never content with just presenting a problem. Instead, he will observe, consult, assess, and analyze until he can offer at least one solution. He also volunteers with the Lake Youth Foundation, Lowlink, and Lake of the Woods Church. And finally, his leadership in the Boy Scouts of America has helped to train up the next generation of community leaders. Jack's contributions to Lake of the Woods have resulted in a safer, more fiscally sound community. All of us at Lake of the Woods are in his debt. It is our honor to present Jack with this award. And now, the Distinguished Service Award, presented to our good friends, Pat and John Licata. Please come forward. This energetic and caring duo has made incredibly significant contributions to the quality of life in our lake community. They sponsor and support numerous organizations and events such as Triad and Lowland. Their yearly Shred event provides a valuable free service to our community, but also brings in donations for the Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue and the Orange County Animal Shelter. Their annual Halloween bash at Wilderness Run Vineyards brings together hundreds of guests, all of whom attend free of charge. Pat was instrumental in launching our Concert on the Point series. She's been a longtime member of Lake of the Woods Association External Affairs Committee. Pat briefs the group and by extension, the community on the real estate market in the lake and surrounding areas. John and Pat present a scholarship each year to an Orange County High School student. John has served as the chair of the Orange County Chamber of Commerce and the District 5 representative to the Orange County Economic Development Authority. The Licata Group makes its vans available to organizations at no charge. Their unwavering generosity and steadfast support for a wide range of organizations and community events truly enrich the fabric of our life in our community. For this, we are most honored to present this year's Distinguished Service Award to John and Pat Licata.
Hi, I'm Carrie Neely. Michael Brancato is honored with a Heroic Act Award. Michael, please come forward. On March 19th, while getting ready to retire for the night, Michael saw that the house located behind his was on fire. He quickly asked his wife to call 911 while he put on his shoes and ran across to his neighbor's home. The exterior deck of the home was on fire and engulfing the rear of the home. Michael knocked loudly and rang the doorbell aggressively to warn the 3 members of the family. They were asleep and unaware that the rear of their home was engulfed in flames as the smoke detectors had not yet started to sound. Michael's actions gave the family precious additional time to gather themselves and their pets and to escape safely. In addition, Michael alerted neighbors on both sides of the house to be aware of the potential spread of the fire. The victims of the fire later said, "My neighbors saved our lives." We heard nothing until Michael pounded on the door. It could have been so much worse if they hadn't woken up my husband. Not sure how you thank someone for saving our lives, but we will forever be thankful. We are so pleased to present Michael with the Heroic Act Award. You don't get to recognize a hero every day, right? Pretty cool. The Outstanding Youth Award. This year's Outstanding Youth Award recognizes the 6 recipients of the 2025 Lake Youth Foundation scholarships. None of the students are with us today as they have all gone off to college. But we are pleased to have most of their parents here. Please come forward as I call your student's name. Mark Bridgham. Unfortunately, I don't think anyone could be here for him. Ella Claire Horn. Reagan Morris. Take your time, Cynthia. Grace Murray. Catherine Slagle. Catherine Trocchio. And thanks to all of you for being here today, as we know that your students are very busy right now doing their thing. That's great. These young Lake of the Woods residents who have graduated from high school and are on their way to the next stages of their life journeys have excelled in both their schoolwork and their contributions to their community. In order to receive the scholarship, they were required to submit a detailed application as well as letters of recommendation from community leaders. It is uplifting to read through the recommendations and realize what a fine crop of future leaders are waiting in the wings to take their places on the world stage. They have participated in a dizzying array of activities and services, including church missions, excellence in sports, school governance, camp counseling, working with children, leadership, education and training, and helping at the food pantry. Please join me and their parents in applauding these most deserving 2025 recipients of the Honor Awards Program Youth Award.
Okay, one last award. One that I'm particularly honored to present. We're very pleased to recognize Lowlink in the 2025 Community Service Organization Award. Lowlink's Sarah. Lowlink's chair, Dave Davies, and executive director Jean Camo will accept the award. Since its founding in 2015, Lowlink has provided more than 300 older adults living at Low with a wide range of services that have empowered them to remain safe and independent in their homes. With one phone call, Lowlink members can request transportation, light home maintenance, tech assistance, errands, friendly visits, and check-ins. They can register for fun and engaging social, educational, and health and wellness activities. Lowlink is also there to support members in urgent situations. For example, last year during the 2024 community water crisis, Lowlink delivered more than 1,500 bottles of water to 43 households. Volunteers, numbering more than 200, are at the heart of Lowlink, giving their time, talents, and compassion. In 2024, volunteers contributed more than 10,000 hours, drove more than 39,000 miles, and organized 182 social activities. Lowlink also serves all residents of Low with events open to the entire community. These include its annual drive-through vaccine clinic, the monthly speaker series, our care partner discussion group, and rides to the polls and civic meetings on our minibus. We salute Lowlink for enabling members to live their lives on their own terms with choices and continued connections to their community and for serving the Lake of the Woods community. Happy 10th anniversary. So this is a fun and uplifting committee to serve on. And we happen to have two openings for the coming year. So if anybody wants to get in on the fun, please see me afterwards. Congratulations to all of our award recipients. Please stand and face the audience and let's give them one more round of applause. We also want to take a moment to thank the nominators who took the time to write and submit the nominations. Mary Jane Atwater, Kathy Brilhart, Sharon Broadus, Alice Clune, Nancy Lawton Cronin, Dave Davies, the Lake Youth Foundation, Miff Devens, Daphne Gaines, Kathy Hicks, Fred Lang, Steve McCluskey, Alton Moorbacher, and Jack Fend. Thank you so much. So we know that you've been inspired by these most deserving award recipients, and we look forward to seeing who you nominate next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn, and congratulations to everyone who was an award recipient on behalf of Lake of the Woods. I would now like to take a moment to thank our outgoing board members who have served their term, and some of them may be joining again. We'll see soon in the election results here as we come along, but some of them may be coming back on. But Lee Penicky, T.C. Phillips, Larry Moreland, Bob Ho, thank you all for your time, your dedication, and the effort you brought to this. Leaf, your firm hand at the helm of this ship, Lake of the Woods, this good ship, Lake of the Woods, has been appreciated over the past year. And I thank all of you. I have a small gift for you and some lovely gift cards, which you are all welcome to take with you as you leave here today. But thank you all very much for your efforts and time.
Thank you.
Let's give our entire board one last round of applause, please, because we couldn't do it without our volunteers.
Thank you, Carolyn. And thank you, Carolyn, and your committee for the excellent work that you have done. It truly demonstrates the best of our community and inspires all of us to rise to that same level and provide such wonderful support and enrichment to our community. That brings us to, if you're on the agenda, to item number 7, which is the President's Award. At this time, I'd like Mr. Chris Colley to join me here at the podium. I'm honored to present this year's President's Award, a recognition reserved for a committee chair whose exceptional dedication and contributions have significantly enhanced our community. This year's recipient has truly gone above and beyond. We all know that our golf course is part of the foundation of our community, and its continued success relies on the passion of our volunteers and staff. Since joining in 2020, Chris Colley has served with unparalleled commitment on the golf committee and led the committee since 2022 as its chair. Chris's leadership has been nothing short of transformative. His vision has led to major improvements, including upgrading the overall playability of our golf course, the redesign of our 10th fairway, and he was a key driving force behind the planning, development, and creation of a brand new revenue-generating amenity, our Hole Zero Golf Simulator. This not only provides the playability to golf courses around the world, but for the first time ever provides Lake of the Woods with a driving range. With the addition of Hole Zero, we're able to expand opportunities for the junior golf program, along with our exceptionally popular farm team. It will also support activities for the LGA and MGA. In addition, on those rainy, snowy, and cold days, it will give community members the ability to continue to practice their stroke. As this amenity matures, the vision is that it will provide year-round league play, attracting beginners to advanced players. What truly sets Chris apart is his ability to bring people together to achieve a common goal, improving the golf experience at Lowe. He's fostered a spirit of teamwork and camaraderie that has made the golf committee a model for all of our committees and community groups. His tireless efforts have not only improved our golf program, but have also strengthened our course's position within the top 25 golf courses in Virginia, rising to the number 19 position. Chris, on behalf of the entire board, thank you for your incredible service. Your dedication, your passion, and your unwavering commitment to making our community a better place are deeply appreciated. It's my privilege to present the 2024-2025 President's Award to Chris Colley. Please join me in a round of applause. So we're now going to move on to item number 8 on the agenda. As you are all aware, we've had some folks submit questions and comments, and we'll look through them and we'll try and answer them to the best of our ability. I can read these, I don't know.
So the first question comment is a little bit of a two-part comment, and I'm going to read these verbatim because they're written on comment cards, and sometimes I don't want to try and interpret for people if they meant something else. What action is being taken to address the overpopulation of geese? Can we try to deal with lake E. coli issues? Well, E. coli is ever present, always in our waters. It's the concentration that we're focused on. What are we doing for geese? Well, we have a brand new environmental resources director who is actively working with wildlife resources to get permits for the spring when we can talk about doing humane ways of addling eggs and things like that to help control the geese population. We are also working with a local member, Alton Hampton, who is helping us come up with a novel way to gently and humanely, it's called harassing the geese, to keep them from occupying the spaces where we don't want them to go. He's working on an RC boat watercraft that we could put into the water to help keep them from going places. So if we deter them from being in making our Lake of the Woods their home, because it's our home, it's their home too, but we don't need them as popular. But we are working on several ways to address that.
One of the things that we've also done this year with our new environmental resources team is we've compressed the amount of time it takes us from when we take a water sample to when we get results back, so we can identify quicker whether or not we've got a problem in a particular area or beach. We've also identified other external labs, and we now have the potential to be able to send a sample out for a type of DNA genetic testing, which can begin to give us some insight as to whether it's all coming from the geese, it's coming from the cows over on Flat Run Farm, or humans, right? So we put in place the ability to try and compress this time frame. We're also looking at, I believe the Lakes Committee has brought forward the idea similar to what's done down at Lake Anna, which is to have some volunteer testing, volunteer sampling of water, so that we can, help our very, resource constrained environmental team. So we're looking at a lot of things, but the geese have a mind of their own, and we're going to do everything we can to dissuade them from taking up permanent residence here. But the ones we dissuade will be replaced by the new ones. So it's going to be kind of always a work in progress.
One last thought on geese is that if you don't want them in your yard, you may want to consider installing vegetative buffers. Taller grasses and taller plantings and native plantings can deter geese from being there, because geese don't like not being able to see predators. So they love a beautiful manicured lawn because that is their way of, one, it's a buffet, and two, they can see predators. So taller plantings in your yard will help deter them from your property too. Next question. My most pressing concern, or comment rather, my most pressing concern is at each intersection, there is no indication that there is a culvert. Need to install reflective posts, especially for night driving, since there are no streetlights in this community. Well, we thank you for your suggestion. We'll definitely look at that as we go forward with our culvert inventory.
And some folks may know, others may not, but we do take a look at and receive resident comments and questions and concerns. One that was received this year had to do with changing the speed limit on a section of Constitution and adjusting some of the vegetation around the intersection, advancing the stop sign a little bit further towards the end of at the T of the intersection, putting a stop bar there, because we're having issues, the community there was having issues with people not being able to see when they made a left-hand turn and the speed coming down the hill. So we do look at those things, and the staff takes that in. Safety and security looks at it. We run it through our engineers if we need to, but we're making these adjustments on a fairly regular basis. So this one's fairly lengthy, but the basic gist of it is, why does the association buy new vehicles instead of running them down until they can't be maintained anymore and need to be replaced? And the shorter answer is, we don't just buy new vehicles because we feel like buying new vehicles. Each year, all of our vehicles are part of the repair and replacement reserve study, and they have been attached to them has been a useful economic life. And when a vehicle or a piece of equipment comes up for potential replacement based upon the useful life that's used in the calculations of the repair and replacement reserve, the staff takes a look at it. The maintenance, or what is now the Maintenance and Equipment Committee, also participates in that, so that each piece of equipment, each vehicle is assessed when it comes up for potential replacement as to whether or not that's actually necessary at this point in time. And many times the answer is, we can probably get another year or two out of it. So it doesn't go into that year's repair and replacement reserve um, yeah, the contribution to the reserve. And it gets pushed back a year or two. On the flip side, we have some pieces of equipment that break. It happens. And it may break earlier than it was anticipated in the repair and replacement reserve. And when that happens, we have to take a look at, is it economically repairable at that point in time? And sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. And we actually have to buy a piece of equipment earlier than we had anticipated. But that's why we have a fully funded repair and replacement reserve, because there are things that we know are going to happen. And if we need to we need to repair or replace a plow truck, as an example, it's a pretty important piece of equipment. We really can't do without it. So if we have a vehicle that has to be replaced, one of the things that we will do is we will attempt to sell the vehicle that is being replaced or put it up for auction so that we can get whatever funds we can out of it. And that goes into the operating fund and we replace the vehicle. Anything I missed? Another question is basically for the Borders Group, the consulting firm that we had come in last year and take a look at our food and beverage operations. They provided a report back to us. And the question is, what's the progress of implementing any of the recommendations in that report? That report, I think, totaled somewhere in a neighborhood of about 449-ish recommendations. And that consulting firm came in to specifically look at operations. They were not charged with looking at financial performance. They were charged at how do we improve our operations? And I think the last time that I saw a number, we were probably well over 90. Yeah, I mean, almost 100%. So realize that some of these recommendations were, you need to replace a seal on this walk-in cooler. Buy the seal, replace the seal, it's done. Another recommendation was you should implement a HACCP program, which is a nationally recognized standard for food service health. And we actually have someone who's a part-time person whose job it is right now to implement that program and ensure that we continue to conduct our operations in food and beverage in accordance with those standards. So that's an ongoing thing. So we've addressed, well over 95% of all of these recommendations. Some were one-time fixes, others were ongoing. Training, upgrading the training and improving the consistency of our meal preparation, looking at changing outside vendors. So we went to a new food service vendor where we got better prices. We get more support from them. They just recently came in and conducted a workshop on how to better use and take advantage of social media in marketing around our food and beverage operations. So I think we've done a really good job of capitalizing on what that report was intended to do. And they've helped us. They've given us a lot of things to work on, and we have accomplished the vast majority of them. And some of them are just going to be continuous improvements in our operations.
And some of those improvement recommendations were required a more long-term strategy. One of them was the advancement of technology with regards to our point of sale system and our inventory control. And if you've been following the last few board meetings, this has been our top priority for our food and beverage and finance departments for those operations. They have put together a very comprehensive business plan and business strategy to onboard these new softwares to help improve efficiencies in those food and beverage operations as well.
We are also asked, what are the chances of having the annual assessment increase tied to the national inflation rate? Well, We actually do in our DMA reserve, we do have the ability to calculate an inflation lift for the out years. As we implemented it this year, we didn't implement what was fully recommended because that would have been a fairly steep jump. So we went part of the way, and we'll go the rest of the way with the board, future board's approval. And that will tie an inflation lift to our contribution to reserve and our reserves in total, so that we'll keep the savings for all of those required components of our architecture and infrastructure online and on par with the impact to inflation. In terms of our operational capabilities, our capital that we have to spend here, the prices that we pay for things are tied to what all of us pay for things, right? After COVID, there are a lot of changes in price structures and availability and suppliers' lead time to get components for equipment, for construction, whatever it is we need. So we have to be raising the assessment to keep pace with the cost of running our operations. Is the board focused on trying to contain costs and to improve the performance of our financial operations and tune them to the best we can? Absolutely. This is a Virginia non-stock corporation. It's not founded nor designed to make a profit. All of the amenities exist for the use and enjoyment of the collective association. They are not all going to make a profit. Well, they're not going to make a profit, not designed to make a profit. What we would hope for and what we try to aim for is that they get as close to breaking even and staying within their budget as possible. These amenities are designed to be supported by the membership because they are used by the entirety of the membership. And so I can't stand here, and no future board member is going to be able to stand here and tell you for certain that something's not going to change in the assessment. The reality is, if they did, I'm not sure what they would base that upon. But there is an understanding that we have long-serving, long-tenured members in our community that are on fixed incomes. And we have no desire to have those folks have to make a tough decision about whether they stay in our community or not. So we're very conscious every time we touch something that deals with cost, what's the impact going to be on the membership? We have to temper that with what it costs to meet the membership's expectations. We did just talk a little bit on food and beverage. Another question is around the subsidy and the increase in subsidy that the food and beverage operations have required over the past years. And I'm not sure if our former treasurer is in the audience, Walt Dirks, but he has a good long list of the number of years that the clubhouse's performance has required subsidy. And it's probably close to 8 or 10, right? This is not a new occurrence, right? And the real question here is, would Lowe consider outsourcing the clubhouse and the Woods Center? And the answer is, your incoming board certainly has the opportunity to take a look at that, right? The reality is, when we had 5 different vendors come in here and we selected the Borders Group to do the study, they were all told that everything was on the table. Change the format, change the menus, outsource. The only thing you couldn't do is move the buildings. That's basically the only limitation we gave them when they came here to take a look. All 5 of the companies that proposed to us said, outsourcing is not a silver bullet. They all had experience where it worked. They all had experience where it didn't work. I personally have a connection to folks up in Heritage Hunt in Gainesville right now, and that's a community of 55 and older, very socioeconomically homogeneous when it comes to housing prices and such. They're experiencing a much, much larger deficit in their food and beverage, and they're looking at the potential of a special assessment or shuttering. So, we're not alone in the challenges that running food and beverage in-house brings to our community. The next board will have the opportunity to take a look at that. And you just remember that because you want to give your business away to somebody doesn't mean they're going to be willing to take it. If they can't come in here and figure out why more of our community doesn't patronize these two amenities, they may not be willing to take our business. They're not going to come in here and work pro bono for us and take a loss running something. If they can't figure out how to do it better, faster, cheaper, pick any of those two, we may not be able to find someone who's willing to take over this business. But the next board is going to have to rise to the challenge of taking a look at that, as well as the food and beverage team, the clubhouse committee, fairways committee, and the finance team are all going to have to be involved in taking a look at what makes sense for us from a food and beverage perspective going forward. I'm going to have to take a drink here. I'm getting parched. The last two comments here are about the selection of the new general manager. And I'm sure folks who've attended meetings have heard some folks express their concern about why that should or should not occur during the tenure of this current board. We started the process of looking for a new general manager in April. It wasn't something that happened overnight. We had to develop an RFP. We had to solicit for vendors, for executive HOA specific vendors to propose to us. We had to go through that selection process. We had to select a vendor. We then had to develop the requirements for the position and the position description that had to be marketed on a national level. And that firm then had, there was a period of time that allowed people to submit their resumes. We didn't open it on a Friday and close it on a Monday. So that took a chunk of time. Then when those were received, executive search firm had to go through them and determine which candidates they felt were viable for us to meet our requirements, and set up a series of virtual interviews for the board members to participate in with each candidate. Out of that process, we then down selected to 3 candidates, and they came on site, were given tours in the morning, tours in the afternoon. They had an opportunity to meet with all of the directors and managers on staff. They had lunch. They had interviews with the board in the morning, interviews with board members in the afternoon. And we took them out for dinner that evening. And we had, as the company told us and the search executive we were working with said, you will not be presented candidates that you are not willing to hire. And the reality is we had an exceptional, talented, seasoned, experienced group of candidates presented to us. And we did have to make, it was a hard decision to make because we were choosing amongst a group of very, very qualified individuals. The board made a unanimous selection and decision, and we were very fortunate to be able to hire our new general manager. She's excited to come on board. There are people in this community who have worked with her in the past and know her well. I think we, and I say we, the members of the board, we executed our fiduciary duties to bring in to this community a general manager who will take us to the next level and for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's one more. There's a backside to one. This concerns the kind of perennial issue of folks who do not live in our community being able to gain access to our community by virtue of either going to the trash compactor or going to the church. And the reality is we try and control that. They're given different colored access tags. The trash recycling and compactor facility is here as a benefit to Low. If that was not here, we'd have to take our trash if we wanted to. If you didn't want to subscribe to a service, you'd have to take it outside the facility to wherever the county would put it. And we've had a commitment from our district supervisor. That is a benefit to this community, and he is committed that it will stay here within the confines of the fenced area that it's in right now. When it comes to the church does not belong to the association. The church is its own separate entity. We happen to share a boundary, and we work very well together. But the church is there for all who would like to attend it. We try, and I think they probably try very well to make sure that everybody understands. Come in the gate, come to the church, or go to the recycler, and you depart the facility. It's not a license to stay on the beaches or use any of the other amenities. And security goes around checking. If your cars are parked at the beach, they're looking for barcodes or they're looking for their access pass. So we attempt to control that and monitor that the best that we can, but both of those facilities provide a service and a value and a contribution to our community. And right now, there really is no plan and no way to regulate that, I think, any more closely than we're currently are able to do so.
And I would like to also note that I think the perceived misuse and abuse may not be as prevalent as many members think it is. Again, security does go around. I don't know if any of you have seen those bright orange stickers they stick on the windows of vehicles. They're hard to get off. They require a straight razor, but the community has grown. We have over 9,000, 10,000 people in this community. So if you feel like a few years ago, there weren't that many people using your beach, well, there probably weren't. There probably weren't that many people using your beach. So embrace your neighbors, welcome your neighbors. And I'm sure a lot of those people who are using those beaches with you live here right in Lake of the Woods. Thank you.
All righty, that brings us to item 9 on the agenda. The announcement of annual meeting of the Board of Directors reconstitution meeting is scheduled for Friday, September 5th, 2025 in the community center right here at 9 a.m. Item number 10 is the announcement of the next regular board meeting, and the next regular meeting of the Board of Directors is tentatively set for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, and that will be a regular board meeting. And the reason that's tentative is when the board reconstitutes on the 5th, they will go through and make any adjustments that they need to make to the timing, the location of the future board meetings, and they'll set the schedule there. It is 11:54 a.m. and at this point in time, I'm going to announce the close of voting for elections of directors. Voting is closed. Mr. Secretary, do we need a intermission? We do not need an intermission. This brings us to item number 12, which is the announcement of voting results by our secretary, Mr. John Bell.
Good morning, everyone, almost afternoon. So what should we talk about? Other question? Okay. So I'm going to read 5 names. Hats off to the elections committee and staff. They've been very diligent about this process. They've counted and recounted and verified and done what they needed to do. So I'm going to read 5 names. The first 3 names are going to be the highest total number of votes for the top 3 candidates. Those 3 candidates will have a 3-year term. And then I'm going to read a 4th and a 5th name, and they will have gotten the 4th and 5th highest number of votes, and they will get a 1-year term because they are filling in for vacancies from previous board members. And then I'm only going to read the top 5. So here we go. And the actual totals and other things will be published shortly, but this is the result. So the candidates receiving the largest number of votes: Tracy Nickel. The candidate receiving the second highest total, T.C. Phillips. Candidate with the third highest total, Tom Francis. Fourth highest total and the first of the 1-year terms, Darcy Jennings. And the 5th highest total getting a 1-year term, Leif Henneke.
Boy. Now that that's been announced to everybody, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. No move. Is there a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed?